Translation. One mistakenly considers a flower garland to be a snake or experiences happiness and distress in a dream. So in the material world, by lack of careful consideration, we differentiate between happiness and distress, considering one good and the other bad. Perfect. The happiness and distress of the material world of duality are both mistaken ideas. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Vaite Baddha Bhatra Jnana Saba Mano Dharma Yei Bhala Yei Manda Yei Saba Brahma. The distinctions between happiness and distress in the material world of duality are simply mental concoctions. For the so-called happiness and distress are actually one and the same. They are like happiness and distress in dreams. The sleeping man creates his happiness and distress by dreaming, although actually they have no existence. The other example given in this verse is that of a flower garland. It is originally very nice, but by mistake, for want of mature knowledge, one may consider it a snake. In this connection, there is a statement by Prabodhananda Saraswati, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Everyone in this material world is distressed by miserable conditions. But Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says that this world is full of happiness. How is this possible? He answers, Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhava Patham Tam Gauram Evastumaha. A devotee accepts the distress of this material world as happiness only due to the causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By his personal behavior, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that he was never distressed but always happy in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One should follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and engage constantly in chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we will never feel the distress of the world of duality. Any condition of life, one will be happy if he chants the holy name of the Lord. In dreams, we sometimes enjoy eating sweet rice and sometimes suffer, as if one of our beloved family members had died. But the same mind and the body exist in the same material world, because the same mind and body exist in the same material world of duality when we are awake. The so-called happiness and distress of this world are no better than false and superficial happiness of dreams. The mind is the via medium in both dreams and wakefulness, and everything created by the mind in terms of sankalpa and vikalpa, acceptance and rejection, is called manodharma or mental concoction. The text begins, Vasudevai Bhagavati Bhaktin Udvahitam Grina Jnana Vairagya Vidyana Nahi Kaschit Vipashraya. Translation for persons engaged in devotion service to Lord Vasudeva Krishna have naturally perfect knowledge and detachment from this material world. Therefore, such devotees are not interested in so-called happiness or distress or so-called distress of this world. So, here is the distinction between a devotee and a philosopher who speculates on the subject of transcendence. A devotee does not need to cultivate knowledge to understand the falsity of temporary existence of this material world. Because of his unalloyed devotion to Vasudeva, this knowledge and detachment is automatically manifested in his person. As confirmed elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashuveda Jnanu Yat one who engages in unalloyed devotion service to Vasudeva Krishna automatically becomes aware of this material world and therefore he is naturally detached. This detachment is possible because of the high standard of knowledge. The speculative philosopher strives to understand that this material world is false by cultivating knowledge, but this understanding is automatically manifested in the person of a devotee without separate endeavor. The Mayavada philosophers may be very proud of their so-called knowledge, but because they do not understand Vasudeva Sarvamiti, they do not understand the word of divinity, which is manifestation of Vasudeva's external energy. Therefore, unless the so-called Jnanis take shelter of the Vaishnavas, their speculative knowledge is imperfect. Ye ane avinda shabnukta maya. They simply think of becoming free from the contamination of the material world, but because they do not take shelter of the lotus feet of Vasudeva, their knowledge is impure. When they actually become pure, they surrender to the lotus feet of Vasudeva. Therefore, absolute truth is easier to understand for a devotee than for jnanis who simply speculate to understand Vasudeva. Lord Shiva confirms this statement as in the following verse. In this material world, everyone, every living entity is infected with this duality of desiring happiness and rejecting suffering, rejecting distress. This is the nature of life in this material body. Because material body is in the material world, and the material world is designed to produce this duality. Constitutionally, each one of the living entities is full of happiness. And in this material world, every one of us also seek the same happiness. But invariably we have also distress. The Mayavadis, as Prabhupada says here, they cannot understand, they will not be able to place properly why there is existence of this experience of happiness and distress in creation. Why it is there? They say the absolute truth is devoid of happiness, devoid of distress, devoid of personality. The absolute truth is not a person. It's a very easy philosophy because your desire for happiness is constantly frustrated in this material world by distress. The easiest way to say is that both happiness and distress are non-existent. Whereas the Vaishnavas say the same thing, it is non-existent in this material world, but it exists in your else. Rasas exist in an absolute sense, and the living entity is a seeker of rasa. Seeker of varieties of rasa. The Vaishnavas are able to see this material world as the spirit soul who is running after their constitutional instinct to seek rasa. The constitutional instinct cannot be changed. In one way or the other, through different mechanisms of mental concoction, vikalpa, sankalpa, vikalpa, manogati, a mental concoction, manodharma. One is trying to maximize acceptance of positive happiness and vikalpa, rejection of distress. They are conditioned. So the Mayavadis, their philosophy is very easy, but it does not answer all the facts of this material existence itself. The Vaishnava philosophy, the Bhagavad philosophy says that person is absolute. The living entity is a person, it's not some impersonal Brahman, it's a person. God is a person. And we are part and parcel of that supreme person. And God is Akila Rasamanta Sindhu. The living entity is also always having the instinct to seek rasa. Material existence itself means seeking rasa. The world is running for rasa. Existence rasa, knowledge rasa, ananda rasa, loving relationship, pleasure. Happiness. So the living entities, all the living entities are, how can that fact be denied? In fact, this brings forth a very important truth, that every living entity is a person and is rasa seeking. We have to understand ourselves also in the same way. We are not just Brahman, we are rasa seeking. But our original rasa seeking is in connection with Krishna. He is in connection with Narayana. He is in connection with the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord in his various expansions, various personality expansions, from Super Soul to Bhagavan. He is extending himself to the living entities for rasa. That is in the spiritual liberated position of the living entity. He is a person who is constantly in relationship with the Lord, which is bhakti rasa. And in this world, which is a world of Maya, external energy, belonging to the Lord, because everything is under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Everything exists for the Supreme Personality of God. We all exist for His enjoyment. This principle is very difficult for Mayavadis to accept. That we are enjoyed and He is the enjoyer. But the fact is that the Supreme Enjoyer is one and the enjoyed are many. That one himself enjoys in unlimited manners, in unlimited forms. He enjoys. This is the cornerstone of Vaishnava philosophy. This doesn't exist at all in the Mayavada philosophy. Because enjoyment itself is not there. Person is not there means enjoyment is not there. None of these are anything to do with eternal things. So therefore Mayavadi philosophers, they become philosophers only, and they only talk about jnana, and they want to dissociate with all rasas. We do not want to dissociate with rasas, but we want to dissociate with material rasa. We are in a better off situation. They want to dissociate with rasa, but their spiritual instinct for rasa still remains, because instinct, constitutional instinct, you cannot change what you are. But our rasa, in Vaishnava's case, he perfectly understands that these are all beautiful creations of the Lord. I am a rasa being for enjoying bhakti rasa with the Lord, for serving the Lord. Bhoga rasa and bhakti rasa. Bhoga rasa means independent enjoyment. Bhakti rasa means giving enjoyment to the Supreme Lord, pleasing and pleasuring the Lord. That is bhakti rasa. Material world, bhoga rasa means everybody is in the paradigm of how I can please myself and pleasure myself. So Vaishnava is also dealing with pleasure, unlike Mayavadis. The Vaishnava is also a spiritualist. Just because he is connected with rasa and pleasure doesn't mean he is not a spiritualist. He is a transcendentalist. He exactly knows the difference between Maya rasa and Krishna rasa. Maya rasa can be enjoyed in this material world unconstitutionally through a false ego. Only through a false ego. Through your real ego, you cannot enjoy Maya rasa. So therefore, the entire arrangement is given in the material world to give you a false identity, false personality, and go ahead and do what you want. Your attitude, the soul, the real ego's attitude is of forgetfulness of Krishna. He is responsible, no doubt. In the forgetfulness of his constitutional ego as a servant of Krishna, he takes false constitutional ego. Constitutional ego means what I am. I am this body. Our ego, our personality, there are two kinds of personalities. Constitutional, existential personality, that means what I am. And then I extend myself to so many relationships. I am father, I am mother, I am brother, I am guru, I am acharya. These are all relationship personalities. But existential personality is what I am. So in the material world, everybody is existential personality. He is identifying himself as mistaken identity. I am this body. And then I am this body as the base. So with relationships he is engaging in. But a Vaishnava or a Krishna conscious person, he identifies his existential identity with I am servant of Krishna, I am spirit, part and parcel of God. Not body. Body itself is a particular situation I am in. This body, next life I am in another body, so many bodies. This is not me. So that who is me? That is existential person. That mistaken, everybody in the material world is mistaken. Who I am? So whether that I am eternal servant of Krishna is, I am eternal servant of Krishna, meant to please and pleasure the Lord. That is my constitutional rasa itself. Of course, we have no taste for that now. Because our taste is always for my pleasure and my rasa, my happiness. The taste is there. Yes. The taste is belonging to the false ego. We are identified with this false ego. But our real taste, because now When we say that you have to please and pleasure the Lord, our mind says, oh, it's so sad, not for me. No pleasure and no esteem for me. Because that, who is speaking that? That is false ego is speaking. That is not your soul. The awakened soul's rasa is the other rasa. This is called Maya rasa. The other rasa. It's natural for the living entity. For the spirit soul, for the pure spirit soul. It is his natural taste, but that natural taste is covered now. And he takes up the ghost taste. All these false egos are the ghost. The ghost way, because they are not real. They appear to be egos, but they are not real egos. That's why it's called false ego. Ego is real. Soul has egos. The ego is real. Ego that I am the eternal spirit servant of the Lord is real. It exists. Whereas false ego does not exist. It is, okay, if it doesn't exist, then where does it exist? Why do we call it false ego? It exists in our experience. What exists in somebody's mind is not what existence. Suppose I think of a white elephant. In my mind it exists. But that is not considered existence. That is only experience. Similarly, false ego is only an experience. It is not a real thing. Of course, the mold of false ego is a real material element. Manasbuddhi, ahankara, etc. But the activated false ego is a material element. It is dead. But my real ego goes into the false ego and activates the false ego, and through the false ego, I manifest my different personalities or in Dasa. So, a real spiritualist is not afraid of pleasure, is not afraid of distress of this material world, because he knows the purpose of the Lord through the agency of Maya. He is creating these perverted impressions, as if you can get what you are constitutionally wanting here in this material world. That is the reason why we become free from sense gratification. Why we don't seek material happiness, we don't seek either material happiness or distress, even distress programs. Accepted, quoting Prabodhananda Saraswati, that whether distress or anything is happiness for devotee, because he sees the Lord is in control. And Lord being in control, these are all this so many impressions that we create. We think there is something, but actually it's not there. We think there is pleasure here, but it is not there, not here. It is there. Why do we think that pleasure is here? Because we know about pleasure. We know about rasa. Different kinds of rasas. So that is the reason why pure bhakti, simply by process of association with Bhagavatam, association with the holy name, this knowledge about the transiency of this material world and the purpose of this pleasure and happiness in the material world is understood automatically by somebody who is associating with Sat, eternity, and eternity of the Lord. If we associate with the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You don't need a jnanic process to separate that this is illusion. Why? Because automatically you are associating with the true existence, which is Krishna, and serving him. And if you take that serving rasa, then automatically this will be seen as simply manogati. It's all mental concoction. There is no substance in it. But in the spiritual world there is substance in it. In the material world There is no pleasure in the pleasure object. There is no pleasure in the pleasure object. The spiritual world, if there is a rasgulla, there is a pleasure potency for that rasgulla that will share its pleasure potency. It's a living being, it shares pleasure. There is pleasure in it. There is ananda energy in it. But in this material world, they are only called sense objects, but actually we only project that it is there and then we go after it. And there is tucham, small sensual pleasure is falsely created, not of the quality of the spirit. It is falsely created by the magic of the Lord, Paramatma in the heart. So seeing pleasure, sensations are there. Around that sensation, we add, our mind amplifies it. Oh, this is it. Then you chase it. Then when you chase it, when you get it, you get simply lauding pleasure. All sense gratification pleasure in this material world. Only a very small percentage, just like a seed of false pleasure is given by the Lord. So therefore we can say, in a sense, relatively, some pleasure exists in this material world, experientially, not in terms of substance. Experientially it exists. Because Lord provides sense and sense objects interact. Something is there. But over and above that, our mind amplifies it. And because of the lauding pleasure, this pleasure is amplified. Oh, so much pleasure is there. So that is why just by demand and supply, Maya amplifies tucham, small pleasures. It's a lie meant for only for those who want to be in illusion, those who want to be in absolute truth. This pleasure experience also they consider it to be non-truth. That little pleasure experience I get in the little world is not truth. But it is a fabrication of the Lord for living entity, to trap the living entity. Maya is given that. Maya is given points. Come on, now you use these points of different sensation. Nice seeing, nice smelling, nice tasting, all these things. You are given these items. Now Maya uses that. And where is Maya acting? Here, Maya is not acting outside. Where is Maya? Maya is always in the mind. So in the mind, she uses this structure of this material existence, pleasure, which the Lord has put in sense objects, sense object interaction. Matter cannot have pleasure. Only Lord has put the pleasure there. Experiential, of course. So we take that and by demand and supply, Maya amplifies the pleasure. We have to understand this. Most of the pleasure that we experience in the material world, means large portion of the pleasure is coming from the lauding pleasure. Take even sex pleasure. If you are not excited, you cannot enjoy sex. Look at that. If you are not excited. More you are excited in one. I got it. I laud you more. I got the sense of it. This is it. This is exciting. So unless there is a lauding rasa added, and who adds this lauding rasa? Our mind, historically we have added, from childhood we have added. What is available easily, what is not available easily. Suppose something is completely available freely, you will see that your lauding will go away. Everything is available freely. Then you will see all the pleasures have become flat in this material. Nothing very easy to conquer. But when you magnify it, very difficult to conquer. It will look like, oh, what pleasure it is. Because the extent to which you have amplified it, nothing is happening in the sense object. Sense object is simply walking there. But in your mind it is going. And the 10 people will have 10 different degrees of experience of one sense object who not even bother with walking there. One beautiful girl is walking there. 10 different minds are amplified in different ways. And suppose it's out of 10 people who are knowing that girl is one of the person's wife. Never troubled him so much. His mind will not see anything there. He will only see dukkha. So it is our seeing. So where is Maya? That is very important. Vaishnavas understand very important. Maya, Maya. Don't look for outside Maya. Don't look for outside Maya. They are all Lord's creation. Maya is using the pawns. They are only objects of triggering Maya. But Maya is there. The way to conquer the Maya here means what? Mainly it is the lording tendency. The lording tendency is cured by serving tendency, serving the Lord. That is how this realization comes. That this, in the material world, this pleasure and pain are all same, all mental concoction. Very easily you can understand that this is simply I am amplifying the flat pleasures which is put in existence by the Lord. I am amplifying it. Manogati, mental concoction. So basically, a Vaishnava has a particular attitude towards material pleasure. He has to develop an attitude towards material pleasure. If he does not develop an attitude of I don't want, that this is illusion, this is below my dignity, my spiritual dignity. My spiritual dignity is to give rasa to Krishna, is to give pleasure to Krishna. That is my nature. That's me. What is me? I am servant of Krishna. That is me. I will hold on to my spiritual dignity. I will not take all this illusory stuff. I don't want this. To say that I don't want this, one has to understand that this is illusion. That understanding comes by directly associating with Hare Krishna. The Mayavadi is trying to get this understanding of this illusion. We also understand it is illusion. But we look for the real. They say this is illusion, therefore everything is illusion. That's why they can never answer this question. They say that material world is like you are seeing a snake in a rope. Actually what is there is rope, you are seeing a snake. And unnecessarily you are fearing. So therefore, their analogy ends there. If you ask them the question, if I have to see a snake in a rope, somewhere that snake must be existing. Somewhere snake must be existing. That is why I am seeing. So Vaishnavas say snake is truth, rope is also truth. But in this situation, you are seeing rope as snake. So that is illusion. Illusion is your perception. Existence is not illusion. Existence is God's creation. It is the Bible of the Lord, this material energy. Everything is. It's a truth, it is not illusion. So seeing what is not there, seeing what is not there, what is reality? Similarly, in this material world, you are seeing putting pleasure where pleasure is not there. Oh, that's the mistake. Pleasure is there somewhere. Pleasure is there in association with Krishna. Pleasure is there. But I don't want this in my hands. So, by practicing devotional service to the Supreme Lord, Guru and Krishna, one of the main things that we need to cure our disease is lauding nature. Lauding nature of I did it, I possess, I am smart, I am clever, I am an excellent preacher, I am all this, I am. And then this mind, I and mine. My this thing, my that thing, my temple, my devotees, my congregation, my contacts. Of course, in course of social discourse, sometimes you have to say my contact to discuss. But when you boast my contact, or when you boast my donor, when you boast my temple, you are right deep into illusion. The I and mine is connected to Lord else. When you assign everything to Guru and Krishna, then the Lord is supposed to. Because that is the truth. Devotees perform devotional service. They don't have confidence in their material ability as such. They say that they understand that I do my little might, but most of the things are all added by God helps those who will themselves. Only by Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, I do it, or I achieve something. So this is very fundamental for, of course, neophytes are always thinking that I have to achieve this or this. But as the devotee advances, he understands that Prabhupada is useful and real. My rasa is that. One of the biggest problems, one of the biggest Maya rasa is to impress others. Even to impress other Vaishnavas. Another big Maya rasa. The devotee should serve the Lord for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. It does not matter what outside society thinks. Anyway, we have rejected. I don't care what the outside society thinks. But then you start thinking, what does the inside society think? What does these Vaishnavas think? How big I am? How successful I am? What do they think of me? What does other think of me? And when I live a life for others, it is a social life. The social rasa. There are two kinds of sense gratification. Gratification of one's senses, and the other is called social gratification. The social gratification is something that we have to consciously kill this attitude for social gratification. We are doing devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord. I need a certificate from Prabhupada and Krishna. And a genuine Vaishnava will be certified, will be happy to certify if you please Prabhupada and Krishna. That is automatic. This is the matter of many times in organization, nobody detects all these things. It is a matter of individual development and advancement in Krishna consciousness to have one's private relationship with Guru and Krishna. That's why I am living for that. I am living for a private relationship with Guru and Krishna. I am not here for prasad of everybody else. So then one executes his duties like a silent worker. He works. He does not want everybody to clap. But it doesn't mean that clapping is prohibited. It doesn't mean praising is prohibited. The Vaishnava Siddhanta says you should praise a Vaishnava. You should glorify a Vaishnava. But you should understand that when a Vaishnava is glorified, a genuine Vaishnava shuns such glorification. He chants Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Because he does not want that to become an eating. Because social resentment. Immediately Prabhupada is offering. Immediately, in a second he offers to Prabhupada. Otherwise you get contaminated. For a second it should be offered to Prabhupada. You cannot tell, okay, look, don't praise me. Then you are telling me anything against Siddhanta. Of course, somebody flattering is different, praising is different. Somebody comes and flatters, you can tell him to stop. Don't flatter me. If somebody is genuinely praising him, you cannot stop that conduct. Because that is again. So you see, to be a Vaishnava is so difficult. Then praise. You should praise. You should never expect praise. You should praise, you should not expect praise. And if somebody gives praise, immediately your mind should run to Prabhupada's words. Just silence and action. Prabhupada's words. That way one keeps oneself insulated or vaccinated against. It should be vaccination against socialism. If you don't do that, you see everything that you do can be connected to socialism. Just like in the corporate world, everybody wants to rise up in the world. So in the corporate world, everybody should recognize the next time, no things. That's why it's fortunate for young brahmacharis when they join the temple. They don't have this mode, raising in the corporate. So they're that way pretty clean. So they very easily they learn, not to rise up, but once you work outside for some time, that more goes into your life's ambition is to rise up socially. Life's ambition is to rise up socially. So that contamination is very difficult to take out. But at least one should identify that as a contamination and not simply shift over to devotional service. Then it will be simply a mixed devotional service. Like a neophyte. Neophyte doesn't know what is transcendental pleasure. He will tell his material senses, mind, pleasure, everything, everything in service of Krishna. So that's also devotional service. But that's a neophyte devotional service. But very conscious, shunning away from material rasa as a trap of mind and always trying to seek Guru and Krishna's pleasure. This is a training. Why do you chant Hare Krishna? What is the attitude towards chanting? Attitude of Hare Krishna chanting is to please the holy name. We are training our mind every day, 2 hours, just to please the Supreme Lord. Because our disease is constantly to please ourselves. Disease is there. After coming to spiritual life also, disease is there. At least 2 hours that disease should keep up and chant Hare Krishna. That is also difficult. There also you will chant Hare Krishna. Then we will have so many other desires, so many things, planning, all these things. That means there is some rasa, some other rasa. See, anybody who is thinking of something which created, there is a rasa seeker. So there is a personality there who is doing all this thinking, and the other personality is trying to chant Hare Krishna. So pure association with the Lord is a solution for all this very quickly. That we should understand. We are very fortunate to take a path where we don't need too much intellectualizing. We need association. Our entire spiritual progress is not jnanic path. It is association. And as Prabhupada says here, in the end we get all the knowledge. Not that we are without knowledge. Pura jnana we get. What these Mayavadis are struggling, all that jnana will come to us just by associating with the absolute Krishna. It becomes apparent. All the truths become apparent. And what they don't understand, we understand. By speculation, they can never understand there is a positive truth. They can never understand there is positive pleasure. They can never understand. But we start there. We start taking pleasure in devotional service and come and see this as, all trends.